The glittering lights of the Los Angeles entertainment landscape often serve as a dazzling facade, masking the complex and volatile realities that unfold behind the closed doors of its most prominent figures. In a world where public perception is meticulously crafted and reality television stars live their lives under the unforgiving lens of a permanent spotlight, the boundary between curated drama and genuine personal crisis frequently blurs into non-existence. For years, audiences have tuned in by the millions to witness the carefully edited conflicts, the strategic alliances, and the theatrical falling outs of Hollywood's reality elite, treating these deeply personal struggles as mere entertainment for a Tuesday evening. Yet, beneath the polished surface of high-end restaurant openings, glamorous red carpet events, and calculated social media posts, a much darker and far more consequential narrative has been quietly developing. It is a narrative that forces us to question the true cost of fame and the immense psychological pressure that comes with transforming one's daily existence into a commercial commodity for public consumption. When the cameras stop rolling and the production crews pack up their equipment for the night, the individuals who dominate our television screens are left to navigate the wreckage of their own personal relationships in absolute isolation, away from the protective buffer of television producers and script editors. The transition from the structured, hyper-dramatic world of reality television to the cold, unyielding reality of a legal courtroom is often sudden and devastating, catching both the participants and their massive fan bases entirely off guard. It is within this chaotic intersection of public notoriety and private turmoil that our current story takes place, serving as a stark reminder that the headlines we read in supermarket tabloids are often just the visible ripples of a much deeper, far more destructive undercurrent. To fully comprehend the gravity of the shocking events that have recently transpired in the hills of Southern California, one must first look beyond the superficial gossip and examine the intricate web of fame, vulnerability, and deteriorating trust that laid the groundwork for this unprecedented legal showdown. As we begin to unravel the layers of this unfolding mystery, we invite you to become a permanent part of our community by subscribing to this channel, ensuring that you never miss a single update as we dive deeper into the hidden truths of the entertainment industry and bring you the most comprehensive investigative reports available anywhere on the internet. The unfolding drama centered around a prominent Los Angeles residence is not merely a story about a broken relationship, but a complex legal puzzle involving multiple individuals, serious allegations of physical violence, and a sudden intervention by the California judicial system that has sent shockwaves through the community. For months, rumors had been circulating through the exclusive neighborhoods of the city, whispering of growing tensions and late-night disturbances at a well-known property that had previously been associated with luxury, celebration, and high-profile social gatherings. Neighbors and industry insiders alike noticed a distinct shift in the atmosphere surrounding the estate, as the usual coming and going of glamorous guests was gradually replaced by an oppressive, tense silence that seemed to signal an impending storm. The property itself, which had long served as a symbol of professional success and personal reinvention, quickly transformed into a fortress of secrecy, shielding its inhabitants from the prying eyes of paparazzi and curious onlookers who sensed that something was fundamentally amiss. What began as subtle speculation among close associates rapidly escalated into a full-blown crisis, culminating in a series of emergency legal filings that would forever alter the lives of everyone involved and expose the deep-seated animosities that had been brewing behind closed doors. To understand how a domestic arrangement could deteriorate so rapidly into a matter of public record and judicial intervention, one must examine the timeline of a relationship that was born in the aftermath of a highly publicized public scandal and heavily burdened by the weight of constant external scrutiny. When two individuals enter into a partnership under such intense public pressure, the foundations of their bond are tested in ways that ordinary couples can scarcely imagine, creating an environment where small disagreements can easily mushroom into catastrophic conflicts. The psychological toll of living under a microscope cannot be understated, as every action, every word, and every public appearance is analyzed by millions of critics, creating a pressure cooker environment where stability is difficult to maintain and volatility becomes almost inevitable. In the weeks leading up to the dramatic legal escalation, those within the inner circle of the household reported an increasingly hostile living situation, characterized by frequent arguments, emotional distance, and a profound sense of unease that permeated the entire residence. Yet, despite the warning signs, no one could have predicted the sheer scale of the confrontation that would ultimately take place, nor the dramatic legal measures that would be required to ensure the physical safety and emotional well-being of the parties involved. As the legal documents would later reveal, the situation within the home had reached a critical breaking point, transforming a shared living space into a zone of profound danger and psychological warfare that left at least one resident feeling completely trapped and defenseless within their own walls. The absolute breakdown of domestic harmony and the introduction of law enforcement into the equation marked a point of no return, forcing the hand of the judicial system and initiating a series of rapid-fire legal maneuvers designed to separate the conflicting parties before further harm could be done. This is the fragile, highly charged atmosphere that set the stage for a series of events that would eventually dominate the national entertainment news cycle, leaving the public clamoring for answers and the individuals involved retreating into the shadows to prepare for an intense, highly anticipated legal battle that promises to reveal the absolute truth behind the headlines. The unsettling reality of the situation finally pierced the public consciousness when official court documents came to light, exposing a harrowing sequence of events that transformed a luxury Los Angeles rental property into a scene of absolute chaos and alleged physical violence. The core of this shocking escalation centers around the 43-year-old Vanderpump Rules star Tom Sandoval and his 33-year-old model girlfriend Victoria Robinson, alongside her father Will Robinson. What was once presented to the world as a glamorous romance born in early 2024 has completely imploded, culminating in a dramatic legal showdown that has legally forced Victoria and her father to vacate Sandoval's residence immediately. According to the strict terms of the dual temporary restraining orders granted by a California judge, the father and daughter were ordered by the court to pack up their immediate lives, allowing them to take only personal clothing and essential belongings needed until a formal evidentiary hearing can take place. The judicial mandate did not stop at a simple eviction, as the court imposed a strict 100-yard stay-away order, legally prohibiting Victoria and Will Robinson from coming anywhere near Tom Sandoval, his home, his workplace, or his personal vehicle, while simultaneously banning them from possessing or obtaining any firearms. This sweeping legal intervention was catalyzed by a sequence of events that began on June 3rd, a date that will now forever mark the definitive end of their domestic life together. On that fateful Monday, the volatile undercurrents of the relationship exploded into a full-scale crisis when Victoria Robinson was arrested by local law enforcement following an alleged physical attack on Sandoval inside the home. On that very same day, while the 33-year-old model was dealing with the immediate legal consequences of her arrest and eventually bonding out of jail, Sandoval took the decisive step of serving her with a temporary restraining order. The depths of the turmoil became even clearer when Page 6 and TMZ verified the details of the sworn statements submitted to the court, in which the former Sir bartender painted a terrifying picture of what allegedly occurred behind closed doors after an evening of drinking. Sandoval claimed under penalty of perjury that a massive argument erupted with Victoria's father, Will Robinson, which quickly escalated past verbal hostility into severe physical violence. According to Sandoval's explicit account, the situation became so threatening that he felt compelled to run away and barricade himself inside a spare bedroom of his own home in a desperate bid to find safety. However, the locked door reportedly provided no protection, as Sandoval alleged that Will Robinson aggressively forced his way into the room, confronted the reality television star, and began punching him repeatedly. The physical aftermath of the alleged beating was severe, with Sandoval detailing visible bleeding injuries inflicted upon his ear and his neck, alongside a heavy blow near his temple and eyebrow ridge that caused him immediate blurry vision and a profound sense of disorientation. The physical trauma was so enduring that the reality star noted the pain in his mouth persisted for 2 full weeks following the encounter, an ongoing agony that ultimately prompted him to check into a hospital emergency room to be medically evaluated and treated for internal injuries. In a poignant reflection included in the legal filings, Sandoval expressed deep personal regret for his actions immediately following the arrest, specifically citing a decision to answer a phone call from Victoria's mother while the model was sitting in a jail cell. In that moment of intense confusion, Sandoval admitted that he actually lent the family the necessary bail money to secure Victoria's release from custody, a decision he now deeply regrets as he reflects on the sheer scale of the danger he was facing. The court documents reveal that this was not an isolated incident of domestic instability, but rather the explosive culmination of a 2-year relationship that Sandoval claims was consistently rife with hidden violence, fear, and severe verbal abuse. He alleged to the court that Victoria had previously demonstrated a pattern of physical aggression toward him, noting past incidents where she had allegedly punched him in the face and thrown a full, heavy bottle of Gatorade directly at him during heated arguments. Perhaps most distressing for the television personality was the psychological and financial aftermath of the June 3 altercation, as he claimed that Victoria and her father continued to occupy the rented luxury home at his sole expense while he was left completely displaced. For weeks following the violence, Sandoval found himself effectively exiled from his own residence, forced to bounce around between the spare rooms of close friends and various local hotels, while the individuals who had allegedly assaulted him enjoyed the comforts of his home. In his emotional submission to the court, Sandoval wrote that he was gravely concerned for his safety and well-being, stating explicitly that he genuinely feared returning to the property while Victoria and her father remained inside, especially since he lacked any alternative long-term accommodations. This absolute displacement added a layer of profound financial and emotional exhaustion to an already traumatic situation, forcing a public figure who is accustomed to the luxuries of Hollywood into a transient, fearful existence. The legal system has temporarily resolved this immediate logistical nightmare by forcing the Robinsons out, but the overarching tension remains incredibly high as both sides retreat to their respective legal camps to prepare their arguments. Representatives for Victoria and Will Robinson were not immediately available to provide a public comment or defense regarding these severe allegations, and Sandoval's personal representative did not immediately respond to media inquiries, leaving the stark, unvarnished text of the court documents to speak entirely for itself. The temporary restraining orders are currently locked in place and set to expire on July 16th, a crucial date when a high-stakes court hearing is scheduled to determine whether these strict protections will be extended into long-term injunctions. As the entertainment world processes these dark revelations, the focus shifts to the upcoming judicial battle, where cross-examinations, medical records, and potential witness testimonies will lay bare the absolute, undeniable reality of a Hollywood romance that transformed into a terrifying domestic nightmare. To understand the true magnitude of this domestic implosion, one must look closely at the complex background of the individuals involved and the volatile timeline of a relationship that was heavily scrutinized from its very inception. Victoria Robinson was not merely a casual partner passing through the chaotic world of reality television, but an established professional model signed with the prestigious agency Ford Models, who had previously moved in high society circles and had once been briefly linked in the public eye to Academy Award-winning actor Leonardo DiCaprio. When she and Tom Sandoval began their romantic journey in early 2024, the relationship was viewed by many industry commentators as a crucial turning point for the reality star, who was desperately seeking a path toward personal and professional reinvention. Sandoval had only recently emerged from the absolute center of a historic cultural firestorm known globally as Scandoval, an unprecedented cheating scandal involving his long-term partner Ariana Madix and fellow cast member Rachel Leviss that had completely fractured the cast of the hit Bravo series Vanderpump Rules and dominated international entertainment headlines for over a year. Entering into a relationship so shortly after such a massive public reckoning meant that Victoria Robinson was immediately thrust into a whirlwind of public judgment, intense fan hostility, and a constant barrage of online commentary that undoubtedly placed immense pressure on the fragile foundations of their new bond. For a time, however, the couple appeared determined to present a united and deeply supportive front to the world, navigating the challenges of Hollywood together and frequently appearing at high-profile industry events, including the annual Vanderpump Dog Foundation Gala. Victoria had even taken an active role in managing Sandoval's public image and professional transitions, helping him select his wardrobe for his high-stakes appearance on the third season of the competitive reality show The Traitors and publicly defending his business ventures during difficult times. When Sandoval announced the permanent closure of his Los Angeles restaurant Schwartz and Sandy's, a business that had suffered immense financial strain and low footfall following his public scandals, Victoria was quick to offer public words of unwavering love and solidarity, reminding critics that onlookers never truly know what occurs behind closed doors. Yet, the newly revealed court documents suggest that the reality behind those closed doors was far more complicated and deeply troubled than the supportive social media posts and red carpet appearances ever let on to the public. Semp.com. The first visible cracks in this carefully constructed facade of romantic bliss appeared in late 2024, when a sudden and highly public social media incident hinted at the deep-seated mistrust that was quietly corroding the partnership from within. In December of that year, Victoria Robinson sparked widespread breakup rumors when she uploaded a scathing and cryptic message to her personal Instagram story, explicitly stating to her followers that her critics had been right all along and utilizing the old adage that a tiger never truly changes its stripes, while heavily implying that Sandoval had stepped out on the relationship with a close friend. The explosive post sent shockwaves through the reality television fanbase, who viewed it as a definitive sign that history was repeating itself and that the 43-year-old Bravo star had fallen back into old patterns of infidelity. However, the public drama took an unexpected turn when Victoria abruptly deleted the incriminating upload and issued a lengthy, deeply apologetic statement on her private social media account, completely walking back her previous accusations and characterizing the entire incident as a true misjudgment. In her written apology, the model explained that her judgment had been severely clouded by her own personal traumas and the exhausting experience of constantly hearing false accusations leveled against her partner by the internet, pleading with the public to respect Sandoval and describing him as the most supportive partner she had ever known. Sandoval, in turn, deleted photos of the model from his own social media profile during the height of the confusion, creating an atmosphere of deep uncertainty that left fans wondering whether the relationship could ever truly recover from such a public breach of trust. While the couple eventually reconciled and even made plans to move in together permanently, once Sandoval finalized the sale of the multi-million-dollar luxury home he still co-owned with his former partner Ariana Madix, the underlying tensions were clearly far from resolved. The temporary peace was shattered entirely by the recent filing of the domestic violence restraining order, which revealed that the brief social media dispute was merely a prelude to a far more sinister pattern of behavior. Extrat.com. In the newly uncovered court documents, Tom Sandoval has leveled an extraordinary array of allegations against Victoria Robinson that extend far beyond the claims of physical violence, painting a deeply unsettling portrait of digital surveillance, emotional manipulation, and total domestic control. The reality television star claimed under penalty of perjury that the 33-year-old model would frequently subject him to severe verbal abuse, utilizing deeply demeaning language during their private arguments to erode his self-esteem and professional confidence. According to Sandoval's explicit statements to the court, Victoria would repeatedly call him an idiot, a moron, and a complete loser, while aggressively asserting that she could easily find a much better partner and claiming that the only reason people still liked him or paid attention to him was due to her presence in his life. Beyond these frequent verbal assaults, Sandoval alleged that Robinson engaged in a systematic effort to monitor his daily movements and control his personal communications, creating an environment of absolute paranoia within the household. He claimed that the model would frequently access his personal smartphone without his knowledge or consent, secretly changing his passwords and social media credentials to lock him out of his own digital accounts while simultaneously spreading damaging falsehoods about him across various online platforms. Most shockingly, the legal filings contain allegations that Victoria went so far as to secretly track Sandoval's physical location using a hidden electronic AirTag tracking device, allowing her to monitor his whereabouts at all times of the day and night without his awareness. Furthermore, Sandoval accused his former girlfriend of actively manipulating his phone to delete crucial photographic and textual evidence of her own alleged physical abuse, an action that he claims forced him to take immediate and drastic legal action to protect his safety, his property, and his digital footprint. He stated to the court that he simply could no longer tolerate the ongoing cycle of hostility and surveillance, explaining that his every effort to maintain domestic peace had been met with increasingly aggressive behavior from both Victoria and her father. TheDailyBeast.com. As the entertainment world looks ahead to the crucial court hearing scheduled for July 16th, the legal and professional implications of this unprecedented domestic crisis continue to expand, leaving the future of all three individuals hanging in absolute balance. This high-stakes judicial proceeding will provide the first formal opportunity for both legal teams to present their evidence, cross-examine witnesses, and argue whether the temporary restraining orders should be converted into permanent, long-term injunctions that could remain in place for years to come. For Victoria Robinson, the upcoming legal battle carries immense personal and professional stakes, as she must defend herself not only against the sweeping allegations contained in Sandoval's restraining order, but also against the formal criminal charge of intimate partner battery with physical violence stemming from her June 3rd arrest. A criminal conviction or a permanent domestic violence restraining order could have catastrophic consequences for her standing in the highly competitive modeling industry, potentially jeopardizing her lucrative contracts with major fashion brands and her ongoing representation by Ford models. For Tom Sandoval, the situation represents yet another devastating chapter in a highly tumultuous personal life that has been completely upended by public scandal and domestic strife over the course of the last several years. Having been completely displaced from his own rented luxury home and forced to live in local hotels for weeks, the reality star is now focused on reclaiming full physical and logistical control over his residence, his vehicle, and his personal belongings while attempting to heal from the severe physical and emotional trauma detailed in his court submissions. As the legal system prepares to deliberate on the absolute truth of these troubling events, the story serves as a profound and sobering cautionary tale regarding the immense hidden pressures of fame, the fragility of relationships built in the wake of public trauma, and the dark realities that can unfold when the glamorous facade of Hollywood completely falls away.